Hi everyone, it's Lana from Living Wildly Free and welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to be repurposing an old classic happy planner and kind of mixing it with another planner so that I can create a book journal. So if that's something you'd like to see, keep watching. Okay, you guys, so I have my printout of the books that I've read, and you might be able to tell they are a little bit spicy and on the fantasy side. Or would it be fantasy or, well, a lot of it is, I guess, fae. I don't know all the terminology. I just know that I've enjoyed reading them. But anyways, so I have my printout of my books. Now I had one of the Disney classic happy planners for 2001, and I only used about 6 months of the planner because this was a planner dedicated to one of, I signed up for kind of like a course, and so that's what I used this planner for. And my course actually started before January 2021. It started in 2020, so I also bought the extension pack. And basically, I've been able to pretty much complete this planner. But on top of that, so as I was making it, I realized, why don't I just make a video for you guys so that you can see how flexible the Happy Planner is? So I stopped midway while doing it because of that reason, and also because this is kind of the complete planner with some extra pages here in the back. But I realized it's so full. It's so full on the classic size discs that I needed to transfer it onto the expander discs, especially if I'm going to be not necessarily decorating it, but sticking on pictures of all the books that I've read, right? So I'm going to go ahead and transfer it, but I'm also going to explain what I did so that you guys can get an idea, and maybe you have some old planners hanging around that you want to repurpose, but you don't know how. So I can show you how I've done this. All right, so this is 2021. Now, it does still have some bits and pieces in here that I could take out, but I feel like I want to try and use it. So I have this extra sheet because I also purchased the Disney, is it the budget journal? I think it's the budget journal. It was a journal for tracking your expenses. And so I got this page because I'm going to glue these two sides together. And on here, I also purchased the, what is it called? Is it the accessory pack for the Disney? And so this is the, gosh, why can't I remember anything, what they're called? Vision board. There you go, vision board type of thing. So I'm gonna pull out the months first. Now this is really, I don't know if you would call this a Franken planner. I don't think so. I think I'm repurposing everything. So in the extension pack, I have these extra sheets that I didn't get to use. So I'm placing it here. Now this first divider, I made it 2021. And if I'm not mistaken, this divider, maybe a couple of these dividers came from the budget journal. And the reason, okay, so the reason why I'm starting this book journal is because last year, November 2021, I decided to get Kindle Unlimited. And I was trying it out and I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it, if it had books available that I wanted to read. And before you knew it, I was reading a ridiculous amount of books. And because it's Kindle Unlimited, I haven't purchased any of these books. It's almost kind of like a library where you just borrow these books. So I wanted to keep track of all the books that I've read, and I've seen so many people keep book journals. So I thought, you know what, why not? Let me go ahead and make a book journal. So now the original Disney planner that I had was a vertical layout, but because I also had a color block, and what is this called? This line? Oh, is this color? No, not colorful leopard. Gosh, why can't I remember this line? Basically, this color block came from this planner. Does it say? I don't know why I can't remember this name. Now, so what I did was the remaining months from the Disney planner, I exchanged out because this planner is until December 2022. So I thought, perfect, I can use these even though the dates I'm not really going to be keeping track of, or it's not going to be completely useful to me. But also I stopped using the color block layout because it wasn't quite working as good as I wanted it to. But then I realized if I use it as a book journal, and let's say I stick the book on top, I'm still debating if I'm going to cover the date, but then it will give me a space for, I can rate it, I can put stars, I can put the date started, date ended, I can put favorite quotes, I'm able to use these blocks in so many different ways. And instead of letting this planner or both of these planners just kind of sit there on the side without being used, I thought, let me go ahead and just repurpose it. All right, so let me finish transferring this to the discs, and I'll show you what else I plan on doing. Okay, so we now have it transferred onto the discs. So, this was my feng shui that I was trying to do. I never got to finish it, but hopefully I'll get back to it. So, what I wanted to do was basically stick the pages that I needed to stick together. So let me show you. January. Why is this? Okay, I'm going to switch this out and place this here. See, I'm still trying to really figure out what I want to do. All right. Okay, so basically, let me kind of explain what's happening. So let's go into February because that might make more sense. So February, what I wanted to do was stick these pages together. So when you turn February, it goes straight into what you would call the weekly, right? So I need to glue these sides together, and on top of that, because I still want the last bit of February, but I wanted to keep the theme of Disney. So instead of using the currently attached to February, I'm going to glue these together so that I have the Disney version. All right, so there's going to be kind of a lot of gluing together. So I hope that makes sense. Now this first tab, here, I just made it 2021 because even though I started Kindle Unlimited in November, I ran out of dividers to, well, I felt it was unnecessary to put November and December. I figured I can squeeze everything into 2021, hopefully. And I should have enough. But since I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to do this, it's going to be trial and error. Okay, so let me, I guess before I start fast forwarding everything, let me explain. There are two ways that people like to do this. They like to glue the pages together. Now, I prefer, so some people like to glue, basically just add the tape here, and then using the rings, letting the other page fall on top of it, so that will land where it needs to be. I don't actually enjoy using that method. I prefer taking them out, even though it seems like a lot of work, but I'll explain why. Okay, so I'm using Kokyo dot liner. I don't know how to pronounce that, but so because I'm going to be gluing a whole bunch of pages, I'm trying not to use too much of it because I don't know if I have more sitting around. Okay, so what I like to do is if I'm not trying to save all of this, I will actually add some in between here. But for the purposes of now, I'm not going to. But what I like to do is match up the punched holes. And the reason I do that is because at least I know it will fit in the punched area. But the reason I don't use the rings is because if you'll notice, sometimes the pages, I don't know if you can see that, but sometimes the pages are not cut exactly the same. So instead of, I don't worry too much about that, but I do try to focus on getting the holes lined up. All right, so I think I might be able to fast forward you guys now because this might be a lot. So I guess I will see you on the other side. Okay, guys, so I stopped at June because I realized if I run out of this, I won't be able to stick my books down so you guys can see what I'm doing. So, so let's stop first at June. I can always do the rest of it on my own. So the way it is laid out is, well, I guess I'll show you June. So when you get to June, the minute you flip the tab, you go straight into the weekly. So you don't get to see the monthly because I figured I won't have use for the monthly. It's really more of a journal to just keep track of all the books that I've read. And so I'm not sure if I'm going to actually read this many books, or maybe, you know, I'll read more than for June. There's what, 30 days, but more because it includes part of May. But you never know, right? And then at the end, when you get to the last page, instead of going into the currently that is attached to the color block, you go into the currently of Disney. So one of the reasons why I wanted to use the Disney planner is because, you know, when I think of Disney, I think of fairy tales, I think of happily ever after, I think of those things. So I figure, okay, let's just use it as a book journal. I haven't marked the backs of these yet, so I'll eventually get around to it, but I did mark the front. So moving on, so far everything is pretty much in place. I'm using the stickers that came with the extension pack. You know what, since I have it out, why don't I go ahead and just add the stickers. Hopefully you guys won't mind too much. And we're going to do it backwards because I'm ridiculous like that. Okay, so there we have it. So we have 2021 all up until December of 2022. So just a side note, my November is actually still a vertical. And the reason being is because in the other planner, I took out the November to, I think it was for May. I took out the November of the color block because I got the planner early and I wanted to use it already. So I got the November to put in for a month that the planner didn't have, if that makes sense. So November here will be a vertical, which is not a big deal. At least I feel like I'm using majority of my planners and I don't have an empty one just sitting out there. Okay, so we are going to 2021. Now, I have all of these, and what I'm going to do is, let me put my planner aside, and I'm sorry if there is a reflection. I have a glass top on my desk. I did try to measure this so that it would fit within the vertical lines. I wonder why I didn't do that. Instead of cutting them individually, I could have just made a whole block of that right there. But so that's kind of my idea. And the other idea I had was, alternating. Kind of just playing around with the placements, but then I would have to get washi to cover up the days, which I guess is not a big deal, but at least it kind of breaks up where the the bigger pieces of the paper will be, or the sticky, whatever. You guys get what I'm trying to say. It's evenly spreads out, so it's not just all glued at the top, right? So what if we did that? I could also bump it up to the top of the borders. Why is that there? It's very different trying to do this and have it not be stickers. I'm trying to, it's difficult because it's 4, right? I could just alternate it, just simplify my life. What do you guys think? Maybe I'll alternate it. Okay, so I think we will go with that. And then I will just white out the days. All right, so far, so good. I'm going to pause for one moment. Okay, so I do have, there we go. Let's use, I do have some washi. And I will just quickly place that down, and I will also place it down there. Okay, so there are still so many books that I haven't printed out. So maybe what I'll do is I'll stop the video here first and maybe finish up placing what I have printed out so that you guys can kind of see how this will turn out, okay? Okay guys, so we're back. That took quite a bit of time, but I was even confused for a while with what I was doing, but I think I have been able to get almost everything down. Well, at least from what I printed. I also did print some for February so you can see how I'm planning to do it. So here is 2021. Now, if you saw what I did the last time here, for some reason I forgot that there was a box in the middle. I was skipping a box, I don't know why, and I didn't realize it till much later. Anyways, so what I decided to do was, this first page, I just left it as is. You're gonna notice that I do have some like residue from the glue tapes that I was using. It doesn't bother me that much. It will be fine once I start writing in this. But, so these, what is that? Those 6, is there really only 6? I feel like I'm missing one. Okay, let me just quickly double check because I'm so confused. I guess this is the problem when you're backtracking everything. So let me just quickly see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I guess it is only 6. So the first 6 are part of, that is one collection or one series. I don't even know what you call, let's just say collection. And then I decided to leave these 3 blank because I wanted to maybe write something about that collection so that, like, as a whole, whereas these areas here can be specifically towards that book. I'm just checking to make sure I'm still on screen. And then we have here the next collection, and I decided to put them all down the center. I don't know why, for some reason I was just in the mood to, so this is now all dirty, but it's fine. Then this is one collection, and this one, they didn't have pictures of each individual, or maybe I was just too lazy to look and pull it out because I'm backtracking everything, so I just decided to put the big one here in the center. That way I have space to write. And since this has 6 books, there's 4, I also decided to leave this page empty in case I wanted to write more than the space I have available here. So I was thinking that maybe I would just write out each book on these individual vertical boxes so that I can write more. So I left that blank. And then this one is another collection that I know it's supposed to be 4 books. The 3rd one hasn't even been released yet, I don't think. I'm so confused already because I've read so many books. So that's why this journal is going to be so helpful. But yes, I know there are 4 books. I don't believe this one is out yet, but I remember reading this and being so frustrated that the 3rd book was not yet out. But I'm gonna have to double check that. I think it's coming out in March. So I'm excited to have that. And even though this is 2021, I'm still going to put the 4th book here when it does come out because I want the collection together. Okay, so that's what I've been able to put so far for 2021. And I don't even know if I'm gonna have, there should be enough space, but I doubt it. I feel like, anyways, I feel like I'm gonna have to add more there because that should include November and December. Now moving on to February, which is basically the book series that I just finished. And so it's Zodiac Academy, and if you guys haven't read it, please go and read it. But I have to tell you that the 7th book leaves you on a ridiculous cliffhanger. There is a book 8 coming out, but it won't be out till December. So I'm kind of going crazy because I finished this all in a week and it's so, so good. There are a few extra books. There's actually, this is one, there's 2 more extra books that I need to print out. I forgot to get pictures and print them out. So I'm going to add that. And I will leave this space. No, actually I was gonna put them here. And then I was thinking of saving this for book 8, but I'm not sure. Still undecided, and I'm still recovering from this collection, this series. So anyways, so far that is what I have for my book journal. I'm sure as I start getting more into it and filling everything out, I might end up changing the way everything's laid out and the way I want to really, organize everything. But for now, that's what we have. And I will move this here. So I know that I'm right here. And then, but you can see, well, I wonder, you should be able to see, but it's already gotten a little bit thicker because I've stuck those, I've stuck down these books, which is fine. So I'm happy I transferred everything to the expander discs. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it gives you ideas of what you can do or how you can repurpose your old planners. So if you did enjoy this video, please consider giving it a like and maybe even possibly subscribing to get more videos like this. Otherwise, continue to plan happy and also continue living wildly free. See you on the next video. Bye.